What's up, guys? Keyboard here. Yeah, I am making a game called Light of the World, and I really want it to be something that shows the transformative power of Jesus in our lives and how we can be the light of the world as his disciples. Um, and so, yeah, I really want to make a game that's not only fun to play with your friends and lighthearted and relaxing, but also something that's uh, encouraging and meaningful and something that kind of applies to both people that are following Jesus and people that might not know Jesus yet. I wanted to make an interactable system for bushes in my game. Um, I'll show you a clip of what it looks like for the trees and stuff in my game, but basically I want things to be interactable. So there's a garden hose that you can equip in the game, and when you spray different plants and trees and stuff, you can help transform them and water them. So for example, with like a dead tree that's covered in snow, as you water it, it will slowly turn into a like a spring tree that's blossoming and beautiful and colorful. Something that's symbolic of turning the dead to life. Same with pine trees, like getting the snow off the leaves and then slowly adding color to them. But with the bushes in the game, I wanted to do the same. I wanted to do the same thing. So that's where I'm at. I wanted to start with a 32 by 32 pixel texture because that is the size that I'm using on my original bush texture. And then I take that original texture and I'm just discoloring it a little bit because I want to have three to four transitions. So one will be the original image, then one will be slightly less snow, and then one will be slightly pink, and then one will be even fuller, a more full pink, just to show the transition from death to life. So that's what I'm doing here. I have a few different images pulled up and I'm just trying to get the colors nice, how I like them. So you can see, like, I'm kind of working in there, and yeah, I didn't really like the colors that I was seeing, so I just kept like messing with it. And I feel like that's the best thing about game dev, is that once you implement things, you can kind of mess with them and see if you like it to polish it a little bit nicely. So I ended up liking those colors. I think I stuck with them. Had to get rid of some of the bigger resolution textures. And then I went over to the code. And so I already had a tree interactable script it's a network behavior because this is a co-op game. So the way that the tree interactables work is every time it gets hit with a particle from the hose, it will transition to the next material. And with it being a network behavior, it's synced across the network with a network variable so that all the players will see it. So I basically just copy and pasted that script from my tree interactable that I had, and I altered it to be a bush interactable. And so the bush manager is a nice singleton that I can use across my project if I have different types of bushes in the future. So I had a prefab from Blender imported, but then I made a network object prefab for that has a box collider network object, and then I'm just going through and changing as many or all of the bushes in the game to be that new network object prefab. So here I'm going into the game just to test it and see if it'll work. I have to go over and get the hose, and I'm noticing that it's not working, so I did a little bit of Googling, some ChatGPT questioning, and I found that when you set on trigger to true for the box collider, sometimes the particle system works a little bit weirdly. So initially I thought that was the issue, but then I had to keep debugging because that didn't fix it. So I went back in and I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. Did a little bit of Googling, did a little bit of messing, and then I realized, looking at the game object, I realized I wasn't grabbing the correct mesh renderer. I was just assuming that each prefab had one mesh renderer object at the root of the prefab, when that's not the case. Because the way that my object from Blender is I have like 5 different planes of 2D bush images all conglomerated together. And since they are all separate, the mesh renderers are all on each separate plane. I could probably get around that by combining it in Blender and then just like sticking to the script that I had, but for now I just kept it like this. Honestly, I wasn't even really thinking of that. That's a good idea though. But so I went through and I did a for each to see if I could grab each mesh renderer from the children of the transform that I'm going through. And then I realized that if each mesh renderer has an array of materials and I'm going to be grabbing a unique amount of mesh renderers depending on how many, like in the future, if I make a plant and it has a different amount of planes, or even if I use a tree and it has a bunch of different like planes on it, I want to make sure that I'm grabbing each one with a for each rather than like hard coding the number in there or like going through one by one and grabbing them. So I made an object or class called bush. It has a mesh renderer and an array of materials. And then when I update the colors of each bush, I go through each bush in the list and I change the first material in the materials to be equal to the bush manager materials that I have set up. See the snow falling, the fog. I have a PSX fog shader. I can link that in the description. It's called URP PSX. And then look, we found that it's actually changing. So the box collider got in the way for the tree on that one. I'll have to move the bushes. I can go through and I can go over here. I have a wall set up there right now, so I have to do a little glitch to get over it. But yeah, you got the original bush, and then every time it gets hit with a particle of water, it updates to the next material. So once it gets to the end material, you get 100 points added to your points, and that will happen for all the players in the game. So ideally I want to encourage cooperation in this game and make it so that when we get points, you know, we get points together. So that's pretty much all I had for you guys. This is my devlog, also kind of my announcement of what I'm making, but yeah.